Here's a question nobody actually asks themselves when they are sitting on $1,000. What is this money really worth to me in 30 years? Because most people look at $1,000 and think, that is basically nothing. That cannot change my life. And that exact thought right there is the mental trap that keeps average people average forever. Today we are breaking that down completely. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why your first $1,000 is the most important financial decision you will ever make. Now, quick disclaimer before anything else. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing here is professional financial advice. This is just what I genuinely believe works based on research and personal experience. Cool? Cool. Let us get into it. Before we even talk strategy, there are two things you absolutely need to have handled before investing a single dollar. Number one, you need an emergency fund. We are talking 3 to 6 months worth of your living expenses sitting somewhere accessible. Not invested, just sitting there ready. Because if an emergency hits and your money is locked in the market during a downturn, you are forced to sell at the worst possible time. Number two, any high-interest debt, especially credit cards charging you 20, 25, 30% annually, that needs to go first. There is no investment on earth that consistently beats a 30% guaranteed return you get from eliminating that debt. Handle those two things, and then we talk investing. Now here's what nobody tells you about your first $1,000. It is not really about the money. Seriously, if you invest $1,000 and the market returns 10% in year one, you made $100. That is a nice dinner, not a life change. The real value of that first $1,000 is what it does to your brain. The moment your money is in the market, something shifts. You stop being a spectator and you become a participant. You start paying attention differently. You start thinking like someone who actually owns something rather than just spending everything you earn. Think about it this way. Imagine someone who has never driven a car watching hours of driving tutorials versus someone who actually gets behind the wheel. The person doing it learns 10 times faster because there is real feedback, real consequences, real stakes. Investing your first $1,000 is getting behind the wheel. And the beautiful thing is learning those lessons with $1,000 is infinitely better than learning them with $50,000. So what do you actually do with the money? Let me give you the options I think make the most sense right now in 2026. Option 1 is the simplest and honestly still one of the most powerful moves you can make. Just put the entire $1,000 into a broad market ETF, something like VTI, which tracks the entire US stock market, or VOO, which tracks the S&P 500. These are boring. That is the whole point. Boring in investing usually means consistent. These funds have decades of strong historical performance behind them. They are extremely low cost. And when you invest in them, you are essentially owning tiny pieces of hundreds of the largest companies in the country. You are not betting on one horse. You are betting on the entire race. Option 2 is a split approach, which I think has some real merit, especially if you want to stay a little more engaged. Something like 70% into a broad market fund and 30% into a more growth-oriented ETF. There are options focused on technology-heavy companies and large-cap growth stocks that have historically outperformed the broader market over long stretches. The logic here is, you still have your stable foundation, but that smaller aggressive slice gives you something to watch grow faster, which psychologically keeps you invested and less likely to bail when things get slow. What I would absolutely avoid with your first $1,000: options trading, day trading, meme stocks. Anything that promises you a way to flip 500 into 10,000 by next week. Look, I get the appeal. The excitement is real, but that is not investing. That is gambling dressed up in financial vocabulary. The people winning in those spaces are either extremely lucky in the short term, or they are selling you a course about how they won. Real wealth does not come from home runs. It comes from consistent singles over a very long period of time. Now let us talk about something most investing videos completely skip over, and it is probably the most important concept of all. Playing it safe is not actually safe. If you have $1,000 sitting in cash right now, inflation is quietly eating it alive. Every single year, the purchasing power of that cash shrinks. What cost $1 last year costs more this year. So the opportunity cost of doing nothing is very real, even if it does not feel like it. Here is the psychological piece. that will genuinely separate you from most people. When the market drops, and it will drop, your reaction in those moments will determine your entire financial future. Most beginners panic and sell. They watch their portfolio go from 1,000 down to 800, and their brain screams danger, get out. But people who have been investing consistently for years see that dip completely differently. They see a sale, quality assets at a discount. The investors who build real generational wealth are not the ones who perfectly time the market. They are the ones who stay in the game when everyone else is running for the exit. That is why starting small is actually genius. You are essentially training your emotional response with low stakes before the real money shows up, because one day you will have 10, 50, maybe $100,000 invested. And when the market swings against you at that level, if you have never practiced staying calm before, you will make a fear-based decision that could cost you years of progress. Here's one more thing worth addressing. A lot of people ask which platform to actually use. There are several solid options out there, including platforms that allow you to buy fractional shares, which matters a lot when you are starting out. Make sure whatever brokerage you choose lets you buy fractional shares. That way, price per share does not become a barrier, and you can invest any amount at any time. The bottom line is this: your first $1,000 is not just money. It is the foundation of an entirely new relationship with your financial future. The habit you build right now, the patience you develop, the emotional discipline you train, that is worth more than any single return percentage. Start simple. Stay consistent. Do not touch it. And let time do the work it was always designed to do. If this video helped you even a little bit, drop a like and let me know down in the comments what you would invest your first 1,000 into right now. And subscribe, because we are just getting started.